Our first guest today, we've got Jeff Reyes. Let me tell you something. If you have not heard about the movie Invasion yet, we had Jeff on the show a couple weeks ago, and he gave us the down and dirty about what was going on. He's going to give us the update today. But let me get you guys oriented to the environment. It kind of looks like this with Jeff. Jeff was in Ramadi, Iraq, about the same time I was, 2006, I think. We'll get him to clarify that, and walked away from there with a Purple Heart and a Band-Aid. But, he pulled it off, and then he's back home. He just produced and directed the movie Invasion. Now, it's everybody in the cast is a warfighter. So he's staying true to form. He was in the 101st Airborne, and nowadays he's making movies. So when warfighters say, I don't know where to transition to, I don't know what to do, the bottom line is you can do whatever you want to do because we are a superior breed of human being. Jeff is going to come on the show. He's going to tell us what's going on with Invasion. I will tell you from what I've seen so far in the trailers, and the movie's getting ready to premiere, you're looking at this generation's Red Dawn mixed with War of the Worlds. So if you can imagine a Red Dawn with a feeling of War of the Worlds with some great actors in there. Tim Abell's in the movie, and he's obviously one of our favorites around here. Jeff, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Hey, man, we're doing good. Thanks for coming back. Give us a little bit of an update. I was just telling the audience the background on you and the background on this movie, Invasion. And I'm just going to keep saying it, invasion, 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 because I want every warfighter in America. That's 23 million warfighters in America, and I think that would be a nice base. They should be watching your movie and promoting it. Tell us about the movie. When does it premiere, and why, oh why, did you set out to make a movie like this?
Well, we're screening it March 1st. To the public, as well as they'll get the opportunity to meet the cast and the crew as well. So March 1st, you can check it out on Facebook.com/Invasion Film, and you can get tickets there. Basically, we ventured out to make this film because a lot of people told us that it would be impossible for us to make it, and the idea came from a dream that I had, and I decided just to put it on paper, and we decided to make it happen, and that's the outcome.
Fantastic. I heard about your movie. One of the guys that hangs out on Facebook with me, his name's Joseph Roberts. I think he's a E8 in the Army, a former Marine too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken on that, not 100%. But he brought your movie, your trailer, to my page. I don't even know if you know Joe, but so the movie is definitely circulating within our community. What kind of feedback are you getting so far just about the project? I know it hasn't aired yet, but the project itself, what kind of feedback are you getting from the warfighter community?
So far, I mean, I've been getting nothing but praises and just telling me how crazy this film looks and how excited they are to watch it. I mean, it's just, it has been circulating. I'm a member on one of the groups on Facebook, which is the my 101st 506 Infantry Division fan page, and I posted it on there, sharing it, and everybody's just blasting it out, sharing it left and right with other people, like, you guys got to check this out. And I am very grateful that it's circulating as fast as it is, because I never thought that it would catch on.
That's fantastic. Nate's got a question for you. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Jeff, how are you? Remember I talked to you earlier today? I do have a question. Now, first, before I get into that, I wanted to say thank you for your service. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure most of America appreciates it. Have you heard of the movie that's supposed to come out at the end of this month called Act of Valor?
I have. I the trailer, and when I saw that, I was amazed too.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of you giving veterans something to do, even if it is make a movie, but using actual soldiers to do the action sequences and stuff like that brings a sort of a realistic appeal to it, and I think that's just going to draw people in no matter what.
Well, thanks, man. You're more than invited to come check it out.
Well, this movie, Act of Valor, it stars actual Navy SEALs in it. You have warfighters in your movie. I think they're probably from various branches of service. I see that happening more and more because we stick together, and the reason we stick together is, quite honestly, the civilian community is substandard, and we're creating the leadership base for America because that's what we already do. You're doing it in the movie community. Tell me a little bit about, was it difficult, or let me put it this way, it's not difficult to get warfighters to act like warfighters. You throw a uniform on it, they all have their personal experiences they can relate to, so it's very, very realistic. Do you think that in another way, your movie had an advantage because you cast warfighters?
Of course. Every time that you do a war film, you want to be as realistic as possible, and that was my goal to do that. And that's why I seeked Tim Abell, which was an amazing actor, and he really brought the realism to it, as well as the other actors. You know, Franco Rodriguez did an amazing job, who was the lead actor, and everybody else. Being that we casted so many veterans to make this film was a huge part of the success.
That's great. I know it's good for within our community, getting our guys jobs, get them work, get them the opportunity to transition. Is there any, did you have any type of social awareness or social conscience you were trying to raise? Is there a sub-theme in the film at all that has to do with any type of social consciousness, or is this just straight entertainment? Hey, think about it. What would you do in this situation? Tell us how deep how deep people can go into the rabbit hole here.
You know what? It's a little bit of both. I'm not a political or social speaker. I don't want to do that. It's basically about family values. It's the trials and tribulations of this family man within the realm of an invasion of the San Fernando Valley. And we follow that. A lot of people are like, oh, this is an alien movie and it's another invasion movie about, destruction, all that. That is not what it's about. In an overall scheme, it is about this one man and his appreciation for his family, and he sees that, and all he wants to do is get home.
And as I've seen in the trailers, it seems that he gets a little true to form mentorship from the lead character played by Tim Abell in the movie. Do you think that will resonate as in America, as civilians, as our culture looks to warfighters for mentorship? Do you think that will have an impact?
Of course, because some of the stuff that we wrote in there is portraying towards how soldiers feel, whether if you're in country somewhere or back home. Those are the feelings that you feel when you're deployed. You do what you need to do in order to get home, back to wherever you're going back home to, whether it's your family or if it's your living room with your TV. That's how we feel, and I wanted to portray that in this film.
I think it's going to be fantastic. Now, we've kind of skipped around here a little bit. In today's movie, when I see action movies today, I see a lot of stuff that has to do with this sci-fi perspective of zombies, sci-fi perspective of werewolves and vampires and all this other stuff, and you're now competing with that. Do you see a shift in the movie industry to get away from this sci-fi and getting more into a more factual-based, reality-based mindset between enemies and allies type of thing?
Well, I think it's more of a conscious thing that filmmakers do, is that, I don't know if I may be wrong or right, but I think that a lot of filmmakers are scared of being social speakers on certain matters, and that's why maybe they made fictitious scripts as in aliens invading. Nobody wants to say, what if this would happen? In my film, this could happen, and that's what I want to ask. What would happen if another military invaded us? Whether if it's, just another country or another planet invading it. What would happen if this happened? Again, I'm a fan of sci-fi movies. I grew up with sci-fi movies, but at the same time, I want to show and I want to make movies about events that could happen. I want to ask that question in every film that I make. Could this happen, and what if?
And Jeff, what I like about your concept is I was instantly a huge fan of Battle for LA. I think that in a situation where something like that was to take place, and we didn't even know why in the movie, which made it even more fascinating to me, to have our military stand up, kick ass, take names, and fend it off really hit home for me for some reason. And I think that it's kind of epic, the direction that you are taking to kind of pull that same type of message across. Again, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and when I watched the trailer, I asked myself, we have, a lot of conversations with people who have never deployed, who've never, worn their uniform, and a lot of them like to think, yeah, I could pull that off, yeah, I could do that, and I could all of a sudden turn into Rambo and make things happen. Well, the truth is, you never rise to any occasion. You only default to your training. So if you don't have the training to do that, it's not going to happen. And your lead character, the family man per se, he comes face to face with that, face to face with the knowledge of he really doesn't have any training, and he's got to pay attention to the guys that do, and the learning curve is pretty steep. So there's a realistic point of view in that. I think you've kept it that way for a reason. Is there any danger? Is there any risk you're taking at being able to show people that they're not superheroes on demand, that you actually have to train to do that?
Well, with everything that we do in life, we run a risk. And I think that what I want to show is that anything can happen and anything can overcome any situation that we want when it comes to when you're motivated to do something. Just like my lead character. he's pushed and pushed and pushed until he has to act upon himself to do what he has to do to get home.
And he's got to make it happen. He's got some great mentorship. Now, you asked during the pre-interview, you were talking to Nate. I want you to introduce our next guest, and we're going to talk to him when we come back from break. His name is Bill Davis. Tell us about Bill Davis. What's he doing these days? Where does he come from, and who is he to you in your life?
Well, Bill Davis, he is my godfather and also my mentor. I've known him since I was 13 years old. I met him while I was a military explorer. He was like a father to me, and he brought me into the industry and mentored me within the industry of filmmaking. And I started working under him as a prop guy and a weapons guy. And he's taught me everything that I know in the industry. And this film could have not been done without his help and his guidance and his producing skills. And he's been in the industry for a long time, 30 years, I believe. He was also a war fighter, served in Vietnam, and he was a cop. He was a state police officer. He won the Medal of Valor, which is not something that everybody has. So he is very respected in the industry, very respected within his own realm, and I am extremely proud on this project.
And when you say you won the Medal of Valor, was that as a police? That was as a police officer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, let's close this down. We got to roll. We got to talk to Bill. We got to go to break and make that happen. Tell us how people can find out more about your movie. You got 30 seconds to tell the world everything. Ready, go.
You can check out this film on Facebook.com/Invasion Film. You can also go to YouTube, Google, search anywhere, Invasion Film Jeff Reyes. And I want to thank all my cast and crew. This could not have been possible without them. Aaron Banks, Unrendered Media, Motor Entertainment, Echoes World, Rachel Dennis, and foremost, I'd like to thank my family for always being there, and you guys for bringing me on to this show.
It's more our pleasure than it is yours. Hey, thank you very much, Jeff. You stay safe, brother. Keep making movies and keep us informed. Would you come back on the show? Give us an update sometime.
I will. And be sure that you check out the new trailer that I just posted up. You guys are going to be amazed on this.
All the way, man. Sounds great. Make it happen. Stay safe.
All right, man.